6 p.m. we will get underway at our July meeting for 2025, and welcome to all of those that are around the table and those of you that have joined us in the gallery. Please be advised that this council meeting is recorded. It will be live streamed and will remain available to the public online, and all persons attending council meetings across the state are to behave in a respectful and considerate manner and not engage in conduct or language that could be perceived as offensive, defamatory or threatening towards others. Councillor Smith, could I ask you to do the acknowledgement of country and the statement of values, please?
Thank you. Acknowledgement of country. The Central Coast Council acknowledges and pays respect to the traditional owners with the we acknowledge the Pana tribe of this northern country, and in doing so we celebrate one of the world's oldest continuing cultures. Now, statement of values. Guided by the diverse beliefs, experiences and backgrounds of the people we represent, we strive to make inspired and respectful decisions today that will build a better tomorrow.
Indeed we do. Thank you so much for that. That takes us to item 1, which is attendance and apologies. And we have apologies tonight from Councillor Amanda Diprose and from the Director of Corporate Services, Sam Searle. Takes us to item 2, which is declarations of interest. Councillors and staff must declare any conflict of interest in any open session item on the agenda. Are there any conflicts to declare? No, there's none. Thank you so much. Item 3 is confirmation of the minutes, which is the confirmation of the minutes from the ordinary meeting held on the 23rd of June. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please? Thank you, Councillor Viney. Seconded, Councillor Wiley. Any question on the accuracy of the minutes, please? No, there being none, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion's carried unanimously. Thank you. That takes us to 4.1, which is the Mayor's communications, and a couple of things to share with you this evening. First, is my great pleasure to make a presentation to our Director of Infrastructure Services, Nick Brown, who was recently appointed as the Central Coast Municipal Emergency Management Coordinator by the Honourable Felix Ellis, Minister for Police, Fire and Emergency Management. At Central Coast, the role of Municipal Coordinator is undertaken by the Director of Infrastructure Services, as the role holds the appropriate authority and is responsible for overseeing Council's infrastructure services workforce who undertake our emergency preparedness planning and respond to emergency situations. Nick has experience in working in local government emergency management through his time as the Manager of Works Operations and Manager of Infrastructure and Engineering with the City of Launceston, where he formed part of the organisation's incident management team and undertook training in the Australasian Inter-Service Incident Management System. Nick also has experience commanding complex incident control centres during various staff roles with the Australian Air Force Cadets. We hope that Nick does not have to act in this capacity very often, but we know we are in capable hands when he does. So I would ask Nick to come and receive from me the certificate that is signed for the Minister of Police, by the Minister for Police, Fire and Emergency Management. Congratulations, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. As we said, we are in good hands when we need it. And we thank Nick for taking on that responsibility. I would just add also under communications, just a message from some of us in relation to the recent state election which was conducted. So may I recognise the support received from fellow councillors and staff that Councillors Diprose, Wiley and myself have received over recent weeks. We have all taken a period of leave since the June council meeting to allow us to concentrate on campaigns for the state election, and we know that this has impacted on our colleagues who may have had to attend meetings or gatherings on our behalf or taken on additional tasks. Please accept our thanks for that support. Central Coast has a proud history of elected members that have nominated for state and federal roles as elected members or staff, and this time has been no different. We have had mayors and wardens and councillors who have stood for election for different political parties and, if successful, have gone on to become great allies of Central Coast, and if unsuccessful, have returned to work as a team for this organisation without political alliance. It is a testimony to local government and to our democracy that people are seen as individuals who have a right, without discrimination, to express and act on their political views. That is not held as a bias against them, and they are very, very capable of wearing multiple hats and holding multiple points of view, as all of us around the table do. To come together in consensus and to advocate for the people of Central Coast. The residents of Central Coast should be assured, as always, that whomever forms government will be held to the same level of accountability and receive the same active advocacy as any others. And again, on behalf of Kate, Amanda and myself, I thank you for your support. That takes us on to 4.2, which is the Mayor's Diary. Some items there for myself and mostly from Acting Mayor Beswick during the period from June or July. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for that item, please? Thank you. Councillor Wiley, seconded. Councillor Smith. Any questions on the diary, or Deputy Mayor, anything that you wanted to add or report on from any of those things that you attended?
Nothing from me, thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions? No, there being none, I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Declared unanimously. Thank you. 5.1, Councillor Communications. Councillors may acknowledge or report on important events and community matters, including updates on your community groups or committees on which you represent as your role as councillor. Would any councillors wish to make any reports? No, it's quiet. It's been winter. Some of our committees have been hunkered down, haven't they? No problem. Thank you. 5.2, councillor questions on notice. No questions on notice have been received. 5.3, councillor questions without notice. Councillors are invited to ask any questions without notice at this time for any of the portfolio areas. Any questions for the CEO or directors? No, also none. Which takes us to 5.4, councillor motions on notice. No motions on notice have been received. Item 6.1, petitions. No petitions have been received. 6.2 is deputations. No request to address this meeting as deputations have been made. Item 7 is public question time. Public question time will be conducted in accordance with Regulation 33 and 36 to 38 of the Local Government Meeting Procedures Regulations and our own public question time policy. Public question time is limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. 7.1, 4 questions were taken on notice at the meeting on the 23rd of June. The council's written responses to those questions have been sent directly to the questioner following that meeting, and they are now included in the agenda for purpose of records. And a response to a question taken on notice at the 19th of May is also provided, so there's a fuller explanation to that question. So they are provided there for the purpose of record. Sorry, just give me 1 minute. 7.2, public questions on notice. So as you're aware, we're able to take questions on notice for people that aren't able to join us this evening, but we haven't received any questions from members of the public submitted for this meeting, which takes us to 7.3. Public questions without notice provides an opportunity for members of the public to ask questions of the council relating to our activities. We refrain from statements and debate, and any questions we ask that are clear and concise. So we're able to ask members of the public to ask 2 questions or up to 2 questions without notice. Please address your questions to myself. If we can answer the question tonight, we will. If not, we'll take it on notice. As I mentioned before, these meetings are recorded and live streamed. There is a microphone at the other end of the table. So if you wish to ask a question, we just ask that you step up close to the microphone so everyone can hear you and it can be captured in the recording. State your name and where you're from. And if we can answer, as I said, if we can answer the question tonight, we will. If not, we'll take it on notice. Please note that any questions relating to any items for decision at tonight's meeting are not allowed in the interest of procedural fairness. After that long spiel, welcome, sir. Come into the warm and find its share. Does anybody have any questions for us this evening, please?
Yes.
Right. Step on up to the microphone.
So,
Oh, it starts with a so.
peace offering to be shared amongst the councillors.
There's a gift register, councillor.
Does it go down to per biscuit or?
Let's proceed.
So part of the reasoning of that is you may have seen details of the issues in Kentish Council's meetings where members of the public wishing to ask questions, Kentish Council didn't really like being asked questions.
We're familiar. Let's proceed.
Right. So I'm grateful that we are much more jovial in our approach here, and I wish to keep it that way. So as we push back against the agenda of worldwide communism by stealth by raising awareness, I have the following two questions.
For the purpose of the recording and for
Philip
the
Jewell from
Thank you.
Parks Road in Preston.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jewell.
Thank you.
Proceed.
So legislation is incorrectly perceived as law, but more correctly it is the legal rules of the corporation. But let's say that legislation is law. Are there any laws, acts, statutes or legislation that Central Coast Council specifically or local government generally are not required to adhere to? In respect to making the question not too onerous on council's time, I'm happy with a simple yes or no answer.
We would need to check all the relevance. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Yeah, I'd imagine if you typically have something you don't have to comply with, it would stand out as obvious.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need to know the other 9,000 that you do comply with. It's looking at what don't you have to comply with.
So we'll take that on notice, but we will keep our response to you brief and appreciate the offer to do that.
Yeah, thank you. The second one, which you may not understand the wording, the Sendai framework is a process by which the UN is forcing through managed retreat to steal life, land and property rights from we the people, trickling down as programs such as National Disaster Risk Reduction. So you might have heard of that. Is Central Coast Council engaged in any activities that aid or abet this process?
The process of
things like National Disaster Risk Reduction, which has come from the UN as part of worldwide communism. Welcome to your new world.
understood.
Thank you.
Do you need any clarifying information from Mr. Jewell?
We'll get the
Take that
question.
on notice.
Take that on notice.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you for the
appreciate you
biscuits.
hearing my questions.
Any other questions, please?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't disappoint us, Kevin. Surely's got a question.
Don't disappoint them either.
Cadbury's favourites.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
That's
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate all of you guys for listening. I know some of these questions might seem a bit, and some of you may not even know. But this is for education for all around the table. For those that don't know.
thank you. For the purpose of the record and for those watching online, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
George, no, it's Kevin Abood from Olsen.
Thank you, Kevin. Please proceed.
All right, last month they asked if the Central Coast Council adheres to the Bills of Exchange Act 1909, and they received a response from the Chief Executive Officer stating that my question was too broad and would require an investment of significant staff time or legal costs. However, the Chief Executive Officer did invite thee to ask a more specific question relating to the application of this Act in a local government context. So thank you. Taking this into consideration, saving all the costs to the council, Central Coast Council, in both staff time or legal costs, thee has done some research and have attached a copy of a 4-page letter from the Attorney General's Department, which thee believes will help ye in responding to my first question. Lee has added a copy of a recent Freedom of Information 4-page response letter, which includes the details of the original request from the Attorney General's Department, and would like to ask for the best interest of the community if the Central Coast Council adheres to the Bills of Exchange Act 1909.
Thank you. We'll take the information and the advice that you've got for us and we'll review that.
Absolutely, sure. Now, in light of questions presented last month regarding the increase in surveillance cameras in the area, and in recent times there have been a lot of talk and push for cities all around the world to partake in 15-minute cities, smart cities, resilient cities, daring cities, Pacific cities, list not exhaustive. All of these initiatives can be ultimately traced back to ICLEI.
What?
International Council, ICLEI. I've actually printed off the wrong, but I had that in full.
Okay, that's the acronym.
That's,
Yep.
yeah, that's correct.
Thank you.
This leads thee to my second question. In the best interest of the community, has the Central Coast Council and or any of ye councillors or ye staff, including any affiliated NGOs, signed any documents to sign any part of the Central Coast Council area up to any such program which can be ultimately traced back to ICLEI?
Yeah, Mr. Bode, not to my knowledge, but we will check and get back to you.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you, Kev.
Yes.
I'm not sure if a box of favourites has to be added to the gift register, but we'll check that, and if it's not appropriate, we'll return it to you, Kevin. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I'm Boris Gasper from Guns Plains.
Thank you, Boris.
I'm asking these questions on behalf of my wife, Andrea Gasper. Okay, so we assume the road, in this case, Guns Plains Road, is public property. However, is the strip of land between the road and the two fences either side of the road, above and below, public property, adjacent to Paul Spicer's property? First question. Second question, if the strips of land are public property, then why hasn't council enforced littering regulations on Paul Spicer?
Thank you. CEO, just give her a minute to finish writing down that question.
These questions are not as lofty as the ones,
No.
but still important.
Vital.
I might refer Daryl.
Yeah, thank you, CEO. Thank you for your question. The land that you've asked about is the subject of legal action, so we won't comment on it further at this stage, but happy for you to contact me and see what details we can share.
Okay. Have you got a card or something I can pass on to my wife? Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Gasper. Appreciate that. Thank you, Daryl, for your appropriate response. Any other questions from the gallery?
Can I just sort of ask, say at the AGM, if there's going to be a larger number, do you have an alternative venue?
Yes.
You do. Okay. And what public, they just write in saying, okay, we want to attend. Is that how it works?
Yes, so the annual general meeting, as required, is advertised X amount of days or weeks through the normal public publications, advocate on our website and so forth. In previous years, we have held it at the Civic Centre in the Gawler Room. We've held it at the Noman Room down in the waterfront. Sometimes we have quite good numbers of people. The last couple of years have been smaller numbers. So yes, it's advertised. Obviously, if there was a want from anyone to put forward a notice of motion or be part of that formal process, then there's a timeline and requirements for you to do so. The CEO's office can help you with that. Otherwise, we just welcome people to come along and attend. And as part of that, the CEO will, or the Mayor will normally do an overview, some slides or whatever that reflect the work of the council and reflect the annual report that we're asking to be adopted that night.
Sure.
Yeah, so more than welcome.
Thanks, mate.
More the merrier. Thank you for your question, Kevin. Any other questions from the gallery? No? If not, we will return to the agenda as you have it in front of you. Which must take us to item 8, Council acting as a planning authority, and very, very unusual for Central Coast. There are no matters for consideration of the planning authority at this meeting. Councillor Van Ruin, that is my oversight. I should have welcomed you to your very first monthly meeting. Sorry, I was so keen to get underway. Welcome to your first monthly meeting. At the last meeting, we acknowledged that you had been sworn in, but you were with us in the gallery because it was a large meeting and you'd only just received the information prior to that. But we welcome you to our table. As I said to you before, it does seem unusual to have another Councillor Van Ruin around the table, but we're very, very pleased that you join us, and please forgive me, I should have done that at the beginning. That is my oversight.
Thank you.
That takes us to item 9, Office of the Mayor and CEO, and 9.1, which is the Chief Executive Officer's report in its full detail. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please?
So
Councillor Carpenter, thank you. Councillor Bestwick seconded. Councillor Carpenter, anything to?
No, Mayor, just again, Black Spot program comes to fruition there on that intersection at Pine Road, West Pine, or did we call it now, years ago? So it's a good thing we're still there asking for that sort of grants. So it's good to see them signed off and to continue on helping us fix some black spots.
Correct. Any other speakers? Yes, Councillor Bestwick.
Yeah, just briefly, again, in the same area as Councillor Carpenter raised, it's good to see that we've been got the grant deed there for a grant for the community shed at West Ulverstone to be able to create a bit better access there. So that'll make it a lot better for the men's shed and also for the other users in there. So we're not sort of driving through a lot of other areas. So it's great to see that there too.
It is indeed. Any other speakers? No, nothing to close. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. That takes us to item 10, which is community services, and specifically 10.1, which is the scholarship and awards policy. You've received a copy of the policy and I understand that you discussed it at a workshop. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please? Thank you. Councillor Lehman seconded. Councillor Wiley. Councillor Lehman, did you wish to talk about the policy?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is a policy that discusses the scholarship that the Central Coast Council will be offering for students, which I found out this evening was for even mature age students. So, you know, anyone could apply, I guess. They just need to be enrolled and accepted into a university, and the course will be leading to a local government outcome, but that could cover a lot of different areas, which I was also made aware of tonight. So things like engineering, HR, anything that would lead into that. So that's a really worthwhile scholarship to have on offer, and also encompasses the Mayor's Award to celebrate a Year 12 student and their achievements. So yeah, the council will be providing $100 to each participating school. So there's really good options for not only our young people, but for people who might be wanting to further their education, and will just help bolster our community. So yeah, this is a wonderful policy to get behind.
Fabulous. Thank you. Any other speakers? No, just to reflect for those that are interested, particularly the university scholarship is not a new expense or a new line item or a new idea. Council has a long-standing tradition of providing a scholarship of around that value through the University of Tasmania, and we have just fine-tuned the application process and the eligibility criteria, and now it will be open, as you've said, to the people that are studying at universities anywhere, not just at the University of Tasmania. So that's an improvement. Nothing to close, Councillor Lehman? No, thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. That takes us to item 11, corporate services, and 11.1, which is the financial report. You're being asked to receive the financial report for the period ending the 30th of June. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for that item, please? Councillor Viney, thank you. Seconded.
I'll second that, Madam.
Councillor Bestwick, thank you. Councillor Viney.
Contrary to my usual talk in regard to this, the finance, this area this time is a abridged result on the basis that there are items of significant compliance and review work is underway to ensure the accuracy of completeness of the council's financial statements for the as such, the June finance report has been abridged and does not include financial statements or related commentary, obviously, because it's in audit process at the moment with the Attorney General, with the Auditor General.
Thank you. Yeah. Other statements or comments? No, as you pointed out, it is now underway for its completeness and auditing for the end of the financial year. So you've just got an abridged version there to bring you up to speed. No concerns? No, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. 11.2 is the recommendation for a municipal re-evaluation tender process, which is undertaken by the Office of the Valuer General on our behalf. So this is once again a task that we need to do on behalf of the Valuer General. You've been provided with the information and the costs there. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for that item, please?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Carpenter. Seconded, Councillor Beswick. Thank you, Councillor Carpenter. Anything to add?
No, this is quite clear at the conclusion there. It's an administrative job at which all councils go through right across Australia, so we can't say no.
Correct. Anything to add, Mayor?
Yeah, just briefly, Mayor. The cost isn't insignificant, but it's not a lot. But we get what we pay for with some of these. For myself, this is obviously mainly desktop, which doesn't give you the real valuation of probably properties in real life. So the proof will be in the pudding and see how things come out. So that's my only concern, but in the end, otherwise it would cost a huge amount of money to be able to do a full proper valuation. So that's my only comment, Mayor. Thank you.
Anything else? And as we know, it's not a valuation for the sale of the property. It's not a real estate valuation. It is a valuation for the purpose of rating. Yes. Nothing to close?
No.
No, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. 11.3 is Lift the Tone, which is the Local Government Association of Tasmania campaign. And Councillor Beswick has indicated he would like to move this motion.
Yeah, I'm happy to move this one, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a seconder, please? Thank you. Councillor Lehman. Deputy Mayor.
Yes, Mayor, it was a privilege to represent the council and local government in the videos that some people have probably seen. It's as much as I was pleased to participate in it. It's a shame that we've got to even be raising a subject like lifting the tone in community, whether it's around council or community in general. You know, we've just gone through an election process, as everybody's aware, and even the tone around that. And I would, as much as participating in this campaign is about local government, I would like to see the tone lifted generally in debate in the whole community, because in the end it's all about respect of other people's views. Just because we think something's right doesn't mean that other people think it's right, and that respect needs to be given. For those that have seen the video, it's not only about my specific thoughts, some of them are. I reached out to others to sort of see where their situations had caused them grief. One of the ones I was alluding to, and it's interesting how you see it back, and they've chopped bits out of here and there. So where one of the early items when I came onto council was an issue where, on an issue, a project, which there was quite a vocal group of people against that project. And I spoke to other people in the community, what's your thoughts? Why? And they had a differing opinion. And they said to me, well, we're not prepared to say anything because we'll just get victimised in the small community. And as it says, and it sounds like I'm saying it on there again, that is really sad when other members of the community can't have their voice. So, as I say, I was happy to participate in it. I'm no actor, I'm no orator. I did the best as I could, and hope it means something to the people that perhaps have seen it and take some of those thoughts on board.
Thank you. Other speakers? Councillor Vine.
Yes, I'd just like to say that most policies that we have, we put them on a shelf and we refer to them every now and again. This is a policy that I would really like to see it just gather dust. In other words, it not have to be referred to, because people are respectful and look after each other in what they have to say and what they do around the table and around the community.
Yeah, well said. Other speakers?
Yes,
Councillor
Mayor,
Carpenter.
congratulate Deputy Mayor Beswick, because I thought he'd done a fantastic job, and there's nothing like coming from an unscripted role as such and saying it as it is. And it is a shame that we have to do this and put ourselves in this sort of place. And for the time in turn and your life in turn, all you want to do is encourage other people to stand for these certain sort of roles. And it's not only in local government, Mayor. You know, across, as we all know, volunteers are getting less and less and less, and it goes across all spectrum of what people want to do to help other people. And it's getting to that stage where respect is sort of, as we know, we don't all agree. All our idiosyncrasies are all different, and we've just got to learn to respect one another and take that on board and jump back in and make it all work. And so I congratulate you, Deputy Mayor Beswick. I thought it was a job well done with real passion and empathy at the same time. So I think we just need to be very respectful, and we are so fortunate here. We are so fortunate. So if we can go around and help some other councillors or some other people and let them stand up, it's a job well done, and we'll move on from there.
Thank you. Other speakers? No, nothing. Deputy Mayor, anything to close?
Just like to probably acknowledge also that this doesn't only affect us as councillors, it also affects council staff, because they can be impacted on, perhaps, a resident who might feel aggrieved about something, and it's just the way that they choose to deal with it. So it's not only councillors, and as we've said in community, probably like to even acknowledge our Mayor at Latrobe, Peter Freshney. He participated in the campaign as well, and he had a really impassioned input into their council meeting last month as well. So, but thanks for the support of everybody for my role, as little as it was. And as Councillor Viney said, in the end, we hope it gathers dust, and in the end, people lift the tone, which is what it's all about.
Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. That takes us to 11.4, which is the recreational vehicle, which is RV, if you want it shorter, and camping strategy. So the RV and camping strategy, you have workshopped this. This has been coming to us for a little while. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this action, please? Councillor Smith, thank you. A seconder, please.
I'll second.
Councillor Carpenter. Councillor Smith.
And this is a good little policy that we've comprehensively workshopped. The actual RV business means a lot to this community, brings a lot of money into Tasmania and to us, and we take it seriously, and we put a lot of work into this, and I think that's all that I can really say. It's a good little document, and it's there for all to see.
Thank you. Other speakers, please. Councillor Carpenter.
Mayor, thank you. Congratulations, staff, on this. And I think taking the time on delivering the strategy has been the right way to go about it too, because I think over this period of time, waiting for it, we've learnt and listened and come back with better solutions. Best thing about the strategy is it is fluid. It is very fluid, and we're extremely well placed in Central Coast for an RV industry. It's as simple as that. And there'll be people that won't agree with a fee and whatever we want to try and do in the future. But at the end of the day, nothing's for free anymore. And people have got to be respectful of the area they're going camping, as much as, freedom camping is what it is. It's still somebody's got to clean up and look after that. So I think that the strategy is right. in the form it's put. And if you look after, you look into the pages of 25, 26, 27 and 29, there's the action. So it's actually got meat on the bone. And when you see Australia Council will actually go and do something and put this meat on the bone, then I think it's very worthwhile of endorsing and following through. So within a 10-year time frame or a 5-year time frame, every place where our RV people are staying will be better and better looked after and cared for. They have toilets there and potable water there in 5 years' time. Isn't that the way we should be going? Because we have a beautiful area to promote and look after, and we need to be able to do that. And we can. I think it's quite evident what's happened at Midway Point, how that's changed and how that's been treasured now. And you don't hear any bad feedback about that. So it's a good strategy. Congratulate the staff and look forward to seeing this go on and on and on.
Thank you. Other speakers? Councillor Beswick.
Just briefly, Councillor Hiskett would be pleased if he was here today because tonight, because this was something that he promoted strongly, especially around, as you mentioned, Councillor Carpenter, around the Midway Point, Sulphur Creek area. As has been mentioned, it's only going to create, for a better environment for the people and better enjoyment for visitors to our area, which is an absolutely great, fantastic spot. So, yeah, I fully endorse it and thank the staff as well.
Thank you. Other speakers? Councillor Van Ruin.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, being new onto the council, it's a document which I've picked up, but I was so excited to read through and would like to commend the council and the staff for the work that's put in. For those who are listening online or here today, I encourage them to have a look at the SWOT analysis. There's been a lot of time and thought put into what the risks, what the opportunities are that lay before you. I just want to read the one line here. It says, to become the destination of choice for caravan and camping in the Northwest. And isn't that what we want? We're open for business. We want to encourage people into our region, but we can't do that without a strategy and a platform moving forward. So, yeah, something I would really strongly support and thank you for the work that's gone into that planning.
Thank you so much. Any other speakers? No, Councillor Smith, did you wish to close?
Good things have been said, so thank you.
Good, thank you so much. I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. That takes us to 11.5, councillor allowances and expensive policy. It's not very expensive,
No.
really, rather, yeah, good value for money. It's the councillor allowances and expenses policy. Just some changes to the way in which we manage the allowance payments and reimbursement of expenses. And I've already mentioned to you that in the published agenda, just in case anybody was reading online, that there was the wording error there under the purpose, but that has now been corrected. So it should say this report enables the council to consider the councillor allowances and expenses policy. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion? Thank you, Councillor Beswick. Seconded, Councillor Wiley. Councillor Beswick.
Thanks, Mayor. There's only some minor changes in there, but one of the main ones which I've been encouraging over the last 6 months was a change to the use of the mayor's car. In the end, lots of other municipalities, well, we have a car for the mayor for what was originally just for council use. A lot of the other councils had it where it was for all use. In most situations, the mayor ends up with their own car at home and that car at home. And the mayor's role, in my mind, is probably one of the least paid, nearly full-time roles in the council organisation. And that's why I was encouraging of, having it so that the mayor can use that car anytime for personal use. Naturally within reason, but in the state of Tasmania, the cost to the community of that, because in the end you've got your registration, insurance, and all that sort of stuff, is the same whether it's being used for a few extra, perhaps a few thousand kilometres in a year. So I'm really pleased that we've been able to come to some changes with that, and it'll only benefit now and into the future for that role in our municipality.
Thank you. Any other speakers, please? No, nobody's rushing at me. I presume you have nothing more to close.
I don't think I have.
It was a very short discussion.
Everybody's happy with it.
Everybody's happy. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. That takes us to 12.1, the Country Transfer Station Access Review. Something of great passion and interest and importance in an area like Central Coast. You have a recommendation there with 3 parts. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please?
I can do, Mayor. I see.
I'm not a country
It's
person.
a subject of passion for Councillor Carpenter, which I'm happy to take his motion. And a seconder, please.
Oh, dear.
Thank you, Councillor Lehman. Councillor Carpenter, share your wisdom about country transfer stations with us.
Ain't they a great thing, Mayor?
Yes, they are.
Isn't it so wonderful that we have 3 transfer stations that, you know, we've got work to do. We know that, but we have 3 transfer stations that people can go to, and the waste is collected by one truck and taken away without everybody, hundreds of cars coming down over a week or a fortnightly period. Thank you for the director in sharing this. Once again, another good workshop and a lot more information. And it's the data that we have now and the data that we will get in the future will direct council how they can go with the country transfer station. So really happy to receive this access review. Shows when people use it, shows when people are happy with it and not happy, and most of them are happy. That's the main thing. So I think everything's in there for people to read. Just continue on, and we'll see how the next 12 months previous to this 12 months, and continue that update. And with the country group that
Yes.
that the director shares his information with and gets information from, you know, keep them informed and keep everybody on side. But no, thanks again, Mayor. So another good workshop.
Thank you so much. Agreed. Other speakers? Councillor Smith.
The community survey was excellent. It shows us that we did go out to people and ask. And also the Central Coast Management group that we have. That's just a wonderful group. And I think we've got this right, and we've got some really good data. Staff's done an excellent job, and people, from what I can see, are extremely happy with how we run those areas. I was so surprised that most people don't use their full ticket allowance. That really was surprising. That was one thing I always used to think, is there enough tickets for the people? But then it tells us that there's plenty, and they can always come back and get some more if the people have used more than their allowance. And it's just a good setup, and it's just really well run and efficiently run. We know that waste costs councils as part of our core business, isn't it? So I just really like to endorse it, and it was very well done.
Thank you. Councillor Lehman.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a great review. Well done to the staff for putting that together. Very comprehensive. It was a great read. I actually enjoyed reading that. So that was a good job. I think I was really happy to see that the scope just kind of didn't include consolidation or closure of sites, that we're keeping the sites open. That's very important because these sites are super important for the people in those areas. And also, I guess the paper and digital hybrid voucher system continuing is also good news. I think there is a fine line between us collecting data and people thinking that we're starting to monitor them and monitor their waste going into these facilities. So I think it's really important to always keep those options open for our community, and also for the reasons mentioned as well, that there are black spots in these locations. People don't want to fumble around with their phone at a rubbish collecting site. Transfer station. So yeah, happy to support this, and yeah, well done again for the review.
Fabulous. Thank you. Councillor Riley.
Only a small addition, because I agree with everything that the other speakers have said, but one thing that I did want to point out as a recommendation of the review was about undertaking community education on load security and illegal dumping. I think that's something that we can all agree is an important piece of work, and certainly the fact that we're willing to tackle that as part of this is a really great step.
Good. Fabulous. Thank you. Councillor Viney.
Yes, I'd just like to say it's great when we go out for a review of the services that we are providing, and they come back and say, you're doing a good job. That's the majority of the response was that they liked what we were doing and how we were doing it, and therefore we're able to say that the current arrangements are satisfactory, and the recommendation was to continue on that same process. It's very pleasing to get it right sometimes.
Indeed. Councillor Van Rooyen.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I was only going to add further on to Councillor Wiley has said, and whilst we, it's good to show recognition of the importance of those, our regional transfer stations, because it does reduce that dumping of illegal rubbish or rubbish that may be lost from loads whilst they're travelling to our resource recovery centre on Lobster Creek Road. We are a large landscape in the Central Coast community. It's very good that we are continuing on that service to provide service for people in those regional areas and out of town. So thank you very much for the research and for those community members who contributed to the survey and the results. It was great to see.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
Everybody else has said everything. Thanks, Matt.
Just wanted to add my thanks to the Central Coast Waste Management Consultative Group. It's a small group. I'm pleased to be able to join them as often as I can, and they are very committed to the retention of the transfer stations and to continuing to explore recycling opportunities, how to minimise manual handling on those sites and make sure that both residents and staff are safe, when they're offloading items of waste into the bins and so forth. So it's always a really proactive and useful meetings that provide Nick and his team with some really practical application of suggestions that, things that can be done that make a real difference to people that are using the site. So we don't see them very often. We see them a couple of times a year, but I certainly extend my thanks to them for their volunteer contribution that they make to help us do our work better. It's all been said. Thank you so much. I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 2.2, the Anzac Park rocket ship survey results. More surveys, more results. Rockets. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please? Councillor Wiley, well done. Thank you so much. And a seconder, please. Councillor Beswick, thank you. Councillor Wiley.
Thank you. So again, former councillor Hiskett would be very pleased to be here tonight, considering this was based on the motion that he put forward to council. And it was definitely a consultation process that certainly piqued a lot of interest in the Central Coast, as it should. It's one of our iconic structures that people recognise as coming into Ulverston. I believe that with the results and the different options that were put forward to the community, we've come up with a really great result, which is a hybrid result, which means that we can retain the rocket in the original format, shape that it is, but with improvements to be made to it. So I feel like it's been a really great result, and I'm sure that once the concepts are put forward, the community will be very pleased that we get to keep our rocket and that we get to have it accessible for the future generations to enjoy.
Yeah. Other speakers? That's the Beswick.
Just briefly, as one of the older ones around the table, I can remember when it was put there, and it was fantastic when we sort of ended up with the rocket and the flying saucer that was put there with the slides there. As mentioned by Councillor Wiley, there was a lot of feedback from people, which was great, and those that input has been worked with to come up with this hybrid solution. Interesting thing that was raised earlier was Central Coast Council in New South Wales have had a rocket for the same amount of time, and they've done something similar. So it would be interesting to perhaps see a photo of what they've done with theirs up there. But sounds like from the feedback that I've seen that it's been reasonably well accepted what we've decided to do. So that's great, and look forward to seeing the outcome.
Good. Any other speakers?
I think so.
No? All good. Anything to close?
Yeah, I guess in closing, the only thing that I would like to mention is that all of the work that we do here does have a process to go through, and sometimes it can be a bit of a scare for the community to go, oh no, they're going to take away the rocket, but there is a process to go through, and we do need to make sure that we do hear from all community members that are interested in this. So certainly while there was a little bit of fear about whether the rocket ship would stay or go, the process speaks for itself, and I think that it's really important to recognise that we do all we can to engage with community in these matters. So that's what I'd like to say. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. I think my observation is that the community is getting better at understanding, obviously, with all of the projects we do. We have, the scale of engagement, that framework for a community engagement, and I think people are slowly learning to trust the fact that when we raise it, it's not because we've made a decision to remove something or to close it down, it's because we want to start a conversation about it. So I think we're getting better at doing that. Yeah, thank you so much. I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. Thank you. 12.3, Health to Heybridge, ownership of the service roads and the pathway adjacent to the Bass Highway. Interesting. Would it Councillor care to move this? Thank you, Councillor Viney, seconded Councillor Lehman. Councillor Viney, what would you share your thoughts with us?
Yeah, well, this is a process that dates well back before any of the people from around the table were here. It dates back to 1997, and unofficially we took over ownership of the service roads and pathways adjacent to the Bass Highway, but some Boffin found that it actually hadn't been documented, and there wasn't official paperwork in the place to show that. So this is what we're doing now from 1997, an action which we're now formalising after a bit of prompting from State Growth.
Indeed. Other speakers? Councillor Carpenter, then Wiley, then Lehman.
I was just going to say, yeah, look, it has been going for a while. Unfortunately, things sometimes do slip through the cracks, but it's been found now, and this is a clear distinction now that we will be taking ownership of this service roads and associated links, all that road stuff. I don't know all the words. And we will be adding them all to our asset register, which is, like, I guess, is a win for us. We now have more stretch of road to say that we own, and so that's good. But yeah, look, it's unfortunate that it's happened, but it's good to be able to clarify it now and be clear, and hopefully there's no more that we don't know about.
Agreed. Thank you, Councillor Carpenter.
Yes, Mayor, and I think we shouldn't forget this. This will come onto our asset register, so we're now liable for all the upkeep and the repair and the maintenance of all the associated assets. And I suppose over time we often hear from people from Heybridge to Howth about the footpath, about the pathway. Why wasn't it done up, and this, that, and everything else? And it's extremely hard for staff to get that message across when you don't have ownership. And both you and I can remember taking over Preservation Drive, so we could just do the planning for the footpath. Up until we took over ownership, we couldn't even put the cycleway or even do any planning for it. So it's great to be able to have control, but it comes at a cost. So next year, I would imagine the Director for Infrastructure will be adding it to the list, and we'll be looking for some money next year to start repairing some of the shortcomings out there. So it's not all good news.
No.
Thank you, Councillor Wiley.
No, I'm okay now. The words have been taken out of my mouth, so good. Thank you.
That's fine. Any other speakers? No, I have nothing to add. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. That takes us to item 13, strategic growth, and 13.1 is the list of development applications. It is the development support determinations, so all of the determinations that have been made during June 25. And you've got the list of development applications as an attachment. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for this item, please? Thank you, Councillor Beswick. Seconded, Councillor Smith. Councillor Beswick.
Yeah, just like to acknowledge the work that staff have done this month. Like, obviously, there's been 24 planning applications in June for a total of $8 million worth of work, and so it's great to see the investment in our municipality and over the whole year. Haven't got the exact numbers, but we'd have to be up probably 25-30% probably on the last financial year. So it's great that people are prepared to invest in our municipality, and a lot of it's probably residents, so new people moving in. So that's all great. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Other speakers? Councillor Smith.
Just to concur with Deputy Mayor, it's just, I love to see these. Everyone wins, and we're going really, really well, and it's just to credit how things are going for us, and people are finding it comfortable to invest and to live here, and we're on the right track with this. It's just great news to see it. Like, that's all I've got to say on that.
Thank you so much. Any other speakers? Councillor Wiley.
I need to mention dogs, as I often do when I see on here about dog attacks on people and dog attacks on other dogs and animals. And it would be really nice to have a month where we don't see a dog attack continually. Would be good, continuous months, but it just from the month of June having 2 attacks on people is concerning.
Agreed.
Very much so.
The speakers? No, I concur, Councillor Wiley, and I suppose it goes to that respect element that we talked about before. Thank you. Nothing further? No. I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. Thank you. Takes us to 13.2, Tasmania Central Coast Economic Development Strategy for 2025 to 2035 and beyond. Like that's a quote out of a movie. You have workshopped the strategy and been provided with the copy, and we've all had great input, and the business community and others have had great input into the development of this. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please?
So moved, Mayor.
Councillor Carpenter, Councillor Viney to second. Councillor Carpenter.
Well, Mayor, the item just before that we just was discussing, not about the dogs, Councillor Wiley, but the other bits and pieces of that item really flows into what this is all about, that we are a growing community and we are a growing municipality of all sorts of shapes and sizes and different things. So the economic growth strategy will now form part of what's going to go on ahead. And I got to congratulate our staff member in Kate Keenan in putting this forward and come to the workshop with so much enthusiasm. It was incredible. And I think even though when we look at it's 40 plus pages, 45 odd pages, there's a lot to take in. There's a really lot of information, a lot of data, a lot of research to sort of hopefully point us in the right direction over this 10 odd years, 25 to 35. It's a long way to go. But again, it's a strategy that's got actions. So you look at it, it's got actions for the medium to long term. And it's got priorities, major priorities, medium priorities, and aspirational priorities. So it's not a document that should sit on the shelf. It's even got, as a question at the workshop about future funding, that every year council should be, virtually, it's the number one priority to put funding behind this, to make this work. So we are open for business, we are fair income. We can go out and we can put ads on TV and we can promote ourselves and bring people in. And there was, it's not about us investing in it, it's about people investing in us, people investing in our community, investing in our new citizens that want to build houses here and create jobs for them to work at. So everything sort of rolls in from where we are over the last 12 months, 2 years probably, with our building applications, our DA going forward. You can honestly say Central Coast is going to grow. And I suppose that brings Mascles Road into the whole concept, into the whole thought process of it. As long as we do it right and do it so it's palatable to most people, and it aesthetically looks great on things that we do. But I think, the opportunity in tourism and agriculture, especially in tourism, and there's a report floating around from West by Northwest that probably some haven't saw yet, the opportunity is just incredible. That's been spoke about and read about in this, or wrote about in this report. So we can all dovetail together here, and I think if we do that and do it well, I believe that Central Coast will be the place for people to come and invest. And it won't be industries that are in Devonport or in Burnie. It'll be different industries. It'll be IT industries. It might be health industries. It might be whatever. And along with our agriculture and tourism, we are just absolutely set to go. So look forward to seeing this play out over that next 10 or so years, Mayor.
Thank you. Other speakers, Councillor Viney.
Yes, I'd just like to concur with all the words of Councillor Carpenter, but I'd also like to add to that it's a very comprehensive and detailed report, but the major message behind the report is that the Central Coast is open for business, and that's we're really looking into the future of the Central Coast, and we want to see it go places, and this is part of that process. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Wiley.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's really important to point out this strategy is a really solid roadmap. It's forward looking. It has an end sight into what we want the Central Coast to be able to achieve, but keeping what's special about it at the same time has been a big part of the thought process in developing this strategy. So certainly the fact that it's flexible in its nature, in the way that it can be responsive to changing conditions as well along the way, but still has that, I guess, end goal in that we do want that we are open for business. That really to encourage investment in our region, but the fact that we do have a flexible framework really is an important part of that, because a lot can change in 10 years. So yes, certainly excited to see what happens with this strategy and beyond.
Thank you. Councillor Lehman.
Thank you. Yeah, this was a really good document, full of ideas, brimming with enthusiasm, as Councillor Carpenter said. So you're well done to Kate Keenan for putting this together along with the team. I guess for me, as well as the strategy, which I see as the vision, it's telling us where we want to go. All the steps along the way, and I guess the measurable actions are the things that we need to do next, and they're the bit that's going to pull this thing together. And notably, they're the parts that often make us fall down, because we have these great ideas, but how do we get them down into actions and measurable actions that we can achieve? So I guess that's the hard work that needs to come for us, but it's good to have this idea of where we're going. It's like if we're travelling to Hobart, we don't know which roads we're going to take yet, but we're going to get there. That's where we're going. That's where we're headed. So I think it's really good to have this visionary document. I shouldn't have said Hobart. I should have said somewhere more local, like Penguin. We're going to Penguin. But yeah, so yeah, absolutely support this, and yeah, great work.
Thank you. Other speakers. Councillor Beswick.
Just briefly, everybody said all the important part. Speaking earlier, as Councillor Carpenter said, it's a 45-page document, which is extensive and lots of information in there. There's going to be a smaller, concise breakdown of everything that's in there, which I look forward to, which will be great to be a handout to people in the community, and then they can go to the major part of the document to be able to digest any specific information that they'd like to get into. So that's all. But yeah, thanks for everybody else's great words on that, Councillor Carpenter especially.
Thank you. Just a few comments from me. I'm old enough to have sat around this table when we have developed forward-looking aspirational documents like this before, and we have not ensured that those actions have been priority actions in each and every budget, and we have not ensured that this table has insisted on regular reporting and monitoring and those types of things. I noticed that it spells quite clearly in the agenda there that there's a reputational risk if council is seen to endorse a strategy without committing to its delivery, and so on and so forth. So I suppose I just wanted to take this opportunity to deliver, to share my thoughts on that to the CEO and accordingly to his staff, that I'm not sure what that annual reporting looks like, but I don't want to be part of an organisation that lets it sit again. So I have an expectation that quarterly or half yearly or however you determine with your directors and staff that there is very, very clear monitoring and evaluation, and that to somebody's point earlier about the priority that is given to the budget line items each year. And if we don't see them, we need to ask where they are. Other than that, great work, and I feel like we've turned a contemporary corner, but we just need to keep hold of it. Yeah. I apologise. Who moved this motion? Councillor Carpenter. Of course he did. Fabulous. Thank you. Anything to close?
I am going to close, Mayor,
Please
because
do.
I concur with your thoughts exactly, and we've done it, I don't know how many times, but anyhow. Let's
Too many.
let's throw the revision mirror away and look at the windscreen and go forward, because it has been disappointing. And again, it comes back to that almighty dollar. But Councillor Wiley and Councillor Lehman, you know, some of the roadmap and the flexible framework and the vision, and this is what's been delivered in this strategy to us. So it's our role now as council, and I would absolutely implore councillors to continue to think going forward in budgetary processes to make sure this is budgeted to the proper amount that we need to deliver these actions out of this. Now, if that doesn't happen, us as councillors got to take responsibility for that. Because at the end of the day, we can say, yes, you get your money, or no, you don't get your money. Irrespective of what the guys behind us are saying, we can stop or start it. So I would implore councillors always keep this in the back of your mind. This is one of the key documents that we'll have in place in council for a long, long time. And if we don't drive it forward and fund it properly, then it's our responsibility. No one else's, me.
Agreed. Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. Thank you. That takes us to the meeting closed to the public. So by absolute majority, you need to agree to close the meeting to the public to consider the matters listed there. Would a councillor care to move the suggested resolution for that? Thank you, Councillor Wiley. Seconded. Councillor Van Ruin. Put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. The meeting is now closed to the public at 7:06 p.m. Thank you for your attendance. Stay warm, drive safely. You're going to take your plastic wrap with you, which is good. Otherwise, we would have been trying to figure out what to do with it tomorrow.
No.